I have a feeling you just get rid of those bans completely and ban some different champions because it's just not looking like enough. Okay, Shago are going to ban the Nidalee themselves.
No, what?
No, no, don't worry about it. Sorry, just the names are a little bit confusing.
Everyone disregard the top thing. It's not actually right. It's M3 on the left.
Yeah, the names that you'll see near the players, that'll probably give you a little bit more of an idea. But you can see Shago once again going to be banning the Corki and the Gangplank. See what they round it out with as LeBlanc is going to join the bench. Rek'Sai now open to pick up.
Nidalee, LeBlanc, Rise as the bans here from M3.
Yeah.
They've adapted with one ban. They've taken away the Rek'Sai in the other. And of course, M3 being first pick could be a very strong indication of where they're going to go for YOLO in this jungle pick. Rek'Sai is a much better jungler. Yeah, this time around. So not a surprise there at all.
Much better than Elise. We'll see what happens as far as what Chagu want to do. As Alistar is the hover. Of course, Savoki did decent things, especially in laning phase on that champion, but we'll see what Moore is going to be able to do with his second favorite pickup.
Yeah. Oh, there's just so many power picks at the moment.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a team target ban, you know that the game's going to have at least 3 to 4 of the stronger champions in the meta at the moment. There's just so many available.
So many, and so many of them actually slip through the draft because you just don't have enough roles that they can play in. As Lissandra was overlooked entirely last time around. Ezreal now a consideration as Pekko just looking to try and round out the bottom lane by the looks of things over the side of QG.
Yeah, and it's again taking a pick away from PentaQ if they choose the Ezreal. I'd be surprised. Poppy is great, and I do think they should pick that one somewhere in their rotation, but there's a chance that M3 in response will go for the Ezreal and pick it up for PentaQ this time.
Yeah, they can if they want to. Of course, Raphael could potentially play that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
If he wants, but Victor might be a bit of an easier matchup considering there's no LeBlanc. But we shall see. Probably wait to pick the mid lane next round because it looks like it might be a bottom lane consideration here for Master 3. But I very much like the Poppy lock-in, of course. Is probably going to be in the top lane there in the hands of V unless Swift wants to play it in the jungle, which I highly doubt. We have seen a bit of a tree resurgence.
There has been.
They tend to grow back. As X,
I was waiting for that, honestly.
Yeah, no. You have to take it.
Low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. Well,
on the
it's a
apple
tree.
tree.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
Oh, wow. We both got there. And we probably shouldn't have. Raphael out. It does look to be a possible Tristana. Could be an interesting one. Of course, Lulu was banned away, so no big Tristana with a pix on her back running around really fast, but looks like a little bit more a late game flavor here with some big tanks and some big late game damage.
I feel like this also preemptively prompts a lane swap here.
Okay.
M3, they've only got 3 members of their roster locked in, but wouldn't be surprised if by chance they decide on the Lulu mid lane for Raphael and they go for
it's
a
banned, so unfortunately not going to be Lulu.
And Lissandra.
Yeah, something like that. Of course, your point does still stand, most definitely.
Yeah, and then go for a defensive support that can keep Tristana alive. Just run a team comp around the lane swap, get free farm onto PentaQ on his Tristana, and snowball towards the mid game with 2 items.
Well, Chagu, we'll see whether they have had the same thought process in mind. Doinby now looking at a Victor.
Showing him how it's done.
Yeah, possibly a bit
or
of that.
Still trolling because it's Doinby at the moment. We don't actually know.
He did play it, of course, against WE, but it is going to be locked away, so Doinby is going to be taking the Victor. 1 second to go. Pekko goes with a Sivir. For the first time here in the LPL. I was having a discussion about Sivir, I think it was with you just recently.
Yeah, it was with me.
Yeah, I was just like, why am I saying Sivir? And you're like, well, it's just not that great at the moment in comparison to the other power picks.
So I think Sivir's good. I just don't think that it's as appropriate to pick as, say, an Ezreal or a Lucian at the moment. The thing with the Sivir in this particular rotation is there's the first assumption that Savoki may go something outlandish and outrageous, and Sivir's quite good in the Blitzcrank as an example.
Yeah, that's true.
Savoki has played Blitzcrank. Also very good in the push meta if you lane swap.
Yeah,
Sivir being able to take down turrets super quickly. And this could be the adaptation here from QG saying, well, the Tristana indicates a lane swap. Let's match it, if not better it.
Wow, they're definitely going to be pushing very, very quickly with that ricochet that Sivir can build up. And I do have a lot of fear for, sped up Poppy with On the Hunt. That will be very frightening. When you've got low mobility on your mage in the mid lane as well, it does help to be able to move a little bit faster. But you can see Master 3, they're like, well, we're going for the late game, boys. Oriana's going to be locked in. Trundle there as well in the support role. Savoki going to be playing that one. You said maybe a little bit more of that protective, more disengage-based support. Trundle going to fill that role quite nicely here for Master 3.
Yeah, it's a scaling teamfight composition here from Masters 3.
Yeah.
You would have to assume, once again, a lane swap. Most important feature for them here to get through the early game. Scale themselves up to a point of power, but they're against another oppressive QG team composition, to say the least. I think that QG may match that, and if they get standard lanes, then things aren't too bad. The Civ has actually got quite a lot of utility against the guaranteed engage of a Maokai.
Oh, definitely,
Quite low range and very predictable if he goes in, so not too bad of a decision here from QG for their AD carry, but M3, if they get going, they are staying in that position.
Yes. Most certainly are, but it is going to be the Graves lock in here for Swift. Surprise, surprise. 11-0-1 wants to try and go again, see what scoreline he can pick up this time.
Why not, honestly, after that last game?
Oh, yeah.
No reason not to lock that one in here for QG, as their team comp is set in stone, and the last thing a Poppy ever needed at the moment is a Sivir ultimate.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That scares the heck out of me.
Yeah. That's so dangerous. Poppy's a one-man army, or one Yordle army.
Yeah.
And that just makes it that much worse to have it on the hunt.
Yeah. Just not to mention, like, they've got damage from 4 different lanes. Well, 3 lanes in the jungle. It's just so much damage when you've got so much extra sort of utility over the side of Master 3 with just these 2 damage threats where Raphael will largely be utility on the top of that. QG just...
Yeah.
Around the mid-game, it's just going to be so frightening to deal with. We'll see whether M3 can do it. Of course, they did manage to weather the storm of Snake, take them down 2-0. But QG looked to be a very different beast on Summoner's Rift.
They definitely do, and this is the only chance that M3 have to try and give it back to QG in some way, shape, or form. After that game 1, there is a lot to prove now.
Oh, yeah. And look, if M3 have had anything tested, it's their patience and tenacity, especially against Snake. It took them a long time to get through that series. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to the Rift. And here we are, Doinby streaming down the mid lane on Summoner's Rift as we get into game number 2 between QG and M3.
Yeah.
QG looking very confident. You can see already 5-point defense system. Maokai towards the top side.
Makes it sound so automated. 5-point defense system.
5-point defense system.
Well, it is what they're doing. Granted, both teams doing a very similar thing. The only exception now is PentaQ with an early ward. Immediately rotates towards the middle lane. Says to me they might be looking to swap, but it's unlikely until Trundle reveals. Trundle's actually revealing, which could mean the exact lane swap is going to happen. Until they just butt heads and then leave. That's so much money Savoki's making.
Yeah, eating more right now. So he's going to head back to base. You can see V moving towards the top side. It seems like standard lanes are going to be what's going to be gained here. There's more actually cancels the back there as well. Triumphant Roar going to be taken at level 1. Oh, Pack Sivir. My favorite skin in the game, by the way. That skin. Spin.
So they're going for the 2 mini blue minions. I actually don't know what they're called at the moment. I'm having a mind blank. The Sentinel babies.
What? Oh, the little blue Sentinel babies.
Yeah, so QG going to go for those ones. Give some extra experience to the Alistar, as we mentioned in that last game. Alistar maybe taking majority of that experience too. Get him closer to that level 2 mark. Already has the Triumphant Roar, so needs to bridge the gap towards his engage a little bit sooner.
Yeah, but if anyone can push out a minion wave, it is most definitely a ricocheted Sivir. That's the dream right there. Get it off that back line. Oh, but already very aggressive. Rocket Jump goes in, exhaust down straight away as Peko in a bunch of trouble. And man, M3 We spoke about this lane being where they have the power, and they're definitely showing that already.
And it's starting with a Triumphant Roar. There's nothing you can do here for this Sivir to keep her alive. Has to blow the exhaust immediately, and that's at level 2. So a long window of power here for the M3 bottom lane where they're already in control, and it's going to stay that way for quite some time.
It certainly is. Is Pentakill going to continue to push up? As we can see in the mid lane, it's more of a matchup that Raphael would feel happy with, you have to say. The old control mage. Where Raphael's just going to be able to farm things away, and we'll see whether Doinby's going to play a little bit more of an aggressive flavor of Victor this time around. Already has the Ghost, so not going for anything like a cleanse, more of a defensive option. It is more utility there.
Yeah.
Swift just needs to get faster at reloading his water pistol, I think.
Not really possible to reload a water pistol faster, you wouldn't think.
Well, it shouldn't be possible to reload it at all, but he seems to be doing it.
Exactly, water reloading. Where's he keep the water?
I don't know. Oh man, I've missed talking about wet noodle fights in the top lane. And here we are, the quintessential wet noodle fighter.
I disagree though. It's a wet noodle fight, but I mean, one of them actually hurts.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the Maokai, you know.
Yeah.
He's back, boys. Don't worry about it.
The difference is he is massively killable because V on this Poppy will be doing an abundance of damage. I don't think that's going to slow down given the matchup, especially when XY and Maokai's in general go towards that Doran's ring and then generally work towards health before getting resistances.
Yeah, that Catalyst would be probably what he picks up.
I would hope not, honestly. I hope he adapts. He has 2 Doran's rings already, some lane strength, and goes immediately from that towards the armor style of build. Gets the Glacial Shroud opposed to...
Okay, so like Frozen Heart as the sort of first big item.
No, just the Glacial Shroud.
Okay.
Yeah, and then towards a Catalyst. Because Righteous Glory you don't have to get early.
Ah, yes.
And the Glacial Shroud gets you through the laning phase much more successfully against physical damage.
Oh, more. That was very cute. Headbutts onto a minion and pulverizes Pentakill. And nothing happens.
No, but they do push into the turret. They've got a big stack of minions. The pressure is on now, finally. QG, even without the exhaust available on that Alistar, is still perfectly fine because Moore got enough experience to have spells that aren't just heals.
Oh, now it's the frustrating thing about a Tristana is farming underneath that turret, trying to get that explosive shot to work, and it is definitely going in the favor of QG as they're shoving into the turret. Means he misses some farm, and 36 to 30 is going to be the damage.
This is... YOLO. That's a level 5 Poppy. You may want to rethink that strategy and not be where you are. Yeah, that makes more sense.
You go home, YOLO.
No, he's not.
Okay.
So V reset the wave by pushing it really fast. Might put himself into a position where he tries to fight XY.
Oh, there it is. Twisted Advance goes down. Little Sapling not going to find too much as YOLO may need to get that flash out to Unburrow. Does so there as V's going to flash away. Not going to go for the difficult one there as Twisted Advance might be up relatively soon. Swift makes his way through. Twisted Advance is of course there, but V, he may fall down. Flash over the top. Oh my god, the burst damage is insane. First blood does go down to XY, but he may fall for it as the flash comes out afterwards. The knock up, perfect timing. YOLO grabs it. Double kill for M3.
And XY saving that flash for as long as possible. They play that fight impeccably as a 2v2. The bait from V, he baited too hard to the extent where he went down, and things go awry here for QG in that top lane. A great start and a great turnaround start for M3 in Game 2.
Yeah, we spoke about M3's tenacity that they were demonstrating in their series against Snake, and it's showing once again. I mean, that first game doesn't seem to have phased them at all. They've just changed up their playstyle, looking to go for something else. And man, let's see that again.
Yeah, so V's out. They get the flash out of him. They trade flashes. YOLO walks away. And V's like, oh, I've got my jungler here. Let's pretend I was, for some reason, lagging or stuttering in a bush. Doesn't have his passive up for the shield. And the best part here about this is YOLO blocking everything from for XY. Swift tries to flash, but doesn't actually have a bullet in his gun.
Oh no, see, told ya. You gotta reload your water pistol.
Or just not fight that,
yeah,
realistically. And V was, I guess... Swift would have been calling it for V. He baited quite poorly, I will say.
Well, you can see M3 holding onto this mid wave as Doinby did want to go back. He's going to do so. Used his Chaos Storm there just to push out a mini wave by the looks of things because Raphael's still alive. That's a good way to understand that happened.
Yeah, it's actually one thing you'll see from Doinby in particular. He just uses his ultimate. It could be off cooldown within 2 seconds. He could just be there, full health. Orianna gets back to lane.
Yep.
Just presses R.
Well, you don't get any value for a skill if it's off cooldown, you know? Like, why would you buy cooldown reduction if you're never going to use your spells?
Well, you don't get value for a skill if it's on cooldown and doesn't do anything either. That's the trick.
Mm.
So you need to use it appropriately and effectively for efficiency reasons. Doinby does it to control the lane, and that's the difference. Is Victor's ultimate reasonably low cooldown? Granted, you do go CDR, so yes, it has got its merit and has got its utility behind it.
Now move relatively aggressively there as the ball goes down. Dissonance going to do some damage. XY taking a bit from V there as well, who's trying to reassert his dominance here in the top lane.
Disappointed in the item build from XY. Didn't go for the defensive item, went for the catalyst.
Yeah, it's grabbed it for the extra mana, I guess.
But it's going to get absolutely smashed by Poppy.
Well, it's already happening there, isn't it, as Swift might be in trouble. Rocket jump again from Pentakill. The exhaust is down. Swift explodes to the damage as Boomerang goes across. And M3 just rotating so much quicker for that blue buff.
Absolutely right. They're rotating quicker. Doinby stuck in the middle lane with no mana. Just wants to recall desperately. But Raphael is hard pushing over and over. They're not letting him recall. And
Well,
this is bad.
They haven't recalled since the start of the game here as well, these mid laners. Of course, Raphael must be sitting on a lot of money as well, but he's just been more resourceful with that mana, like you said.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to use it for wave clear. He's auto-attacking because he has control of this wave in its entirety. Doinby has to use the laser to control the wave. This is where things are starting to get a bit awkward here for QG in this early game. Swift not having the same impact as he did in game 1.
Well, Swift now moving towards the mid lane. Raphael took 3 turret shots, which is why he's now at half health. Not Doinby. He didn't really do anything. Just Raphael deciding to get hit by a turret.
Yeah, and again, now they're just in a battle.
Oh, yep.
They're honestly just in a battle to try and recall and control the waves at the same time. Whoa, stealing a blue buff here for Doinby as well.
Well, answering the steal from the other side, of course.
Oh, hello.
YOLO makes his way in. Not going to grab the smite as Swift picks it up and quick draws over the wall, but was relatively close. I don't think YOLO was expecting them to be there.
I think YOLO was definitely expecting them to be there. The way that Doinby passed through the middle lane
Oh, that's a good
said he
point.
was going to one place and one place only. So he went there to try and steal it, or at least deny it from Doinby. So reasonably successful as, again,
Oh my, he can't go back.
let me recall.
Yeah, YOLO's like, no, 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 no. We don't want you to be that oppressive, Victor. Not happening.
This is horrible for QG because they could actually get the turret with this wave. They'll probably stop him recalling again with the Prey Seeker.
They can too as well.
And they
All
do.
That vision.
This is frustrating. Like, I feel bad for Doinby. Just let him recall. Ah!
Raphael now, yeah, of course. Full Frost Queen's claim as well as those boots there as well as Swift. Will actually take some decent damage from this Orianna now with the extra item. Nice wave clear to come in from the Graves.
He wants to stop him again.
Oh my god. No, he misses. He misses.
You are a scumbag.
Yeah, but looks to be working. 3-0 is the lead. No turrets to fall just yet as more tanking up the Raphael damage. Oh no! Can't get past the pillar! So all the harassment comes in from M3, but Moore's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Just the L stamps his feet. Okay.
So finally, we've got some recalls in place. People are starting to power up after an exceptionally long time. Doinby gets 2 upgrades on his Hex Core. Nice to see he's not following Raphael's build. Raphael following the same build as last game, but on a much more appropriate champion.
Yes.
Has his cooldown reduction in place. The Frost Queen's claim is going to be there. And M3 are rotating around this map quite efficiently. They'd gone from mid. They kept Doinby down for as long as possible to give Raphael easy farming. Now they're top.
Yeah, XY has the ultimate pop there as well. He's going to start tanking up this turret. The ult does go down. In fact, everyone gets stuck inside the pillar. That was pretty uncomfortable. As V is going to get the flash over the wall, but there's the arcane smash. And XY locks down the kill. QG going to answer with a dragon here at 12 minutes into the game. YOLO thinking that he might try and... No,
Just do
he's
his
not.
red.
Yeah, he's just going to do his red. Says, nah, ain't going in 3 people.
Of course not. And again, M3 rotating around this map. They keep down V. They keep down Doinby. And Pekko's just playing Sivir, so he's not going to be massive. And especially in comparison to Pentakill, who's been given a kill. Everything's going well here for M3 in this early game, 4-0. The thing is, they still need to keep this up. They can't drop the ball whatsoever. Well, QG do work their way back in relentlessly.
They tend to do that. Rusty, you can never count these guys out. 4-0 though, definitely looking good here for M3 as Savoki makes his way through. YOLO wants that double knock-up, gets it as well as Peko does use the ult. That was ridiculous from Moore. They are going to escape safely.
That pulverize kept them alive indefinitely. That was phenomenal work from Moore. Peko has to use absolutely everything to get out, and a fantastic rotation again from YOLO and M3 as a whole. Working around this Trundle, working around this Rek'Sai who's got his Boots of Swiftness and jungle item completed. This is a dangerous position to be in for QG and a wonderful one for M3.
Yeah, M3 looking great. Of course, not being able to pick up that kill on the bottom side, but it does show you exactly what's going to be happening here as Savoki flashes out of the way of Moore. Doesn't want to get caught in Doinby's burst rotation. And certainly doesn't want to be the facilitator of getting Doinby back into this game. Most definitely not.
Doinby's not out of the game at least, compared to the rest of his team. They've got a 0-2 jungler, 0-2 top laner, and really, they've consolidated their losses quite well. The bottom lane having a rough level 2. Still ahead in farm, just missing a kill.
Oh, Peko is in so much trouble. Has to use the flash. Oh my god. Okay, there it is. Explosive shot goes off. Savoki might be in trouble as V had teleported in, but XY wants it. Tanking up the turret, Savoki. He's baited just long enough. There goes the pillar. And in the end, XY is not going to be able to pick up the kill.
That was good from V, but even better from PentaQ. Finding a kill under Peko, not having summoners, not having that spell shield there. And this is the start that M3 needed in that first game. They've actually found it in game number 2. And it just feels like they've drafted more effectively.
That's a nice pulverize again. Moore doing the very best that he can to help out, at least defend this turret, which he's going to because, of course, it's still at relatively high health. Sivir will generally help with that, as she can push things out. Infinity Edge almost completed now for Peko.
They shouldn't fight this. M3 should be taking this for free. They're just looking to wave clear here, Xiaogu. They have a Sivir in the top lane who doesn't have teleport.
Oh, V is going to get the stun onto XY. Doinby makes his way over. No dashes to come out here as V is there with the W. Doinby's out of mana. He can't really do anything as Swift makes his way over. Raphael picks himself up an easy kill as Moore in the middle of no man's land. 6-1 now the scoreline as the exhaust onto Swift means that QG can't pick up anything. And M3 look like a completely different team.
They have a Sivir in the top lane, a Victor losing mid lane, not having the pressure or mana or summoner spells to deal with Orianna and the rest of M3, and yet they engage. I'm not sure what they're counting on to win these fights.
Not sure, Rusty. Not sure. All I know is that M3 are looking much better with this late game style, control the game type comp, which is honestly what they were winning with.
Oh, they definitely are looking better here, M3. They've got that Righteous Glory as well for XY, so the snowball has begun for M3 in a comfortable position from here on out. You're just waiting on the Rapid Fire Cannon or Infinity Edge from Tristana. And then across the board as 5 members, they are going to be doing a whole lot of damage. Team fighting has accelerated again for this M3 side. Polar opposites to game 1. And yeah. QG, the polar opposites themselves.
Well, you can see Raphael feeling a lot better on this Orianna. Now has himself a blue buff as Savoki. Just going to get rid of some stacks. Has a Deadman's Plate. Well, looked like he had a Deadman's Plate. Doesn't. Can't afford that yet. That's ridiculous.
Oh, God.
Looked like the little red thing was trailing him. Never mind. Peko back down in the bottom lane. So if QG have anything, right, they have wave clear. So they can stall out this game with, of course, the boomerang out of Sivir, very long range. Doinby has his laser, and everyone understands about the ridiculous wave clear that is the Hex Core upgraded Victor.
Yeah, naturally they have that wave clear. They've got a front line as well, Alistar and Poppy. Always going to be tanky. My real concern for QG's team composition up against this M3 side is their range. They've got a Sivir and a Graves as their primary sources of AD damage. Both very low range carries. Up against
Maokai.
A Maokai, up against an Orianna. Up against a Tristana who outscales them with range. Everything about this team composition M3 have looks decent. Don't mind anything that's happening mid lane, it's just Doinby.
Yep, just Doinby.
Pressing R because he can off cooldown as Doinby always does.
Yeah, it does mean that Raphael does need to be a little bit more careful as Peko blows the ultimate. YOLO not going to be able to get on top of him because the spell shield was there. Flash was there, but of course created enough distance. Nicely played there from Peko, but now doesn't have that big cooldown.
And of course, played just as well from YOLO to be there in time. Peko actually poking down his lane opponent in the Tristana.
Yeah.
Forces YOLO to be there, but everyone gets out with their lives. So pressure has been put in place here by the Sivir. XY is going to return back and test his mettle.
Most definitely. And the interesting thing here, right, is that QG, they've actually been behind by more gold than this before.
Oh, yeah. This is nothing.
Against EP, it was more than this 3,000 gold lead that has happened. But M3 looking like they have answers for the strategies that are going to be in place towards the later game. That's what I'm frightened about here as far as M3 versus QG is concerned, because M3 knew that they wanted to be team fighting in the late game. They've got the Orianna, they've got the Maokai. They want to be able to facilitate that, and of course the ball delivery system with the Rek'Sai is working out. Yeah. So their comp was always going to do that, but QG, you just can't count them out in any team fight situation ever.
Of course not. The question's always going to be options, and what do M3 actually have to win this game? Now, the first thing you have to look at is top laners. Can they split push? Well, to an extent, XY can split push, but he's up against the Poppy, so you default to no.
Yep.
You look at their team fighting, and that's honestly what they have. They have a protect the Tristana composition with team fighting.
Well, XY may be in a little bit of trouble as the ultimate comes out. Looking to get some damage back onto V, but this Poppy is more than happy destroying things. Doinby going to lose his turret there in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Raphael and YOLO are going to move into the jungle now. Swift and Doinby going to find them, but the red buff already gone. Oh, Doinby actually looking for YOLO.
The pressure's there from YOLO. He's honestly out jungling Swift in these early stages of the game. All three lanes have felt Rek'Sai's presence.
Yeah.
Even if he ganks one, he just ults to the next one. It's been super quick and super refined play here from YOLO. It's very impressive.
Raphael as well, he's farming up very, very nicely. Of course, it's a bit of a mirror to last game.
We've got 15 seconds to kill this.
Can they do it?
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, they most certainly will. YOLO going to be able to smite that one away, grab himself a little bit of a Rift Herald buff. The mini Baron. And grabs it to clear out his jungle. That's not effective use of that buff. Maybe they were just trying to kill it because they had time.
All for the quick recall.
Yeah.
It's the only reason you get that, right?
All about it. It does help out Rek'Sai more than other champions, though, you know, because you can get back to the Rift a little bit faster. I was about to say lane. It's not where it really wants to go a lot of the time.
No, not at all, but can use the ultimate to get back anyway. So lots of time here for YOLO to find a lane that he wishes to go towards. You would have to assume bottom lane.
Yep.
Still got the outer turret standing. It's the last one there. And you need to try and keep this Sivir down, because that's a lot of farm at 20 minutes in this game to have 211.
Yeah.
The only one matching you is Raphael in that middle lane on Orianna.
Yeah, actually, Raphael picking up far more farm than he has any right to in this matchup
Well,
against
he's been
Doinby.
actually going through Raptors and Wolves.
Yeah, that's all he's
stealing from YOLO.
Yeah, the little mini ones. Always good for getting those numbers. If you want to pad your CS stats, boys and girls, head towards those Raptor camps and Wolf camps.
And always take all three parts of the blue buff. The screw jungles, right?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, just take the little ones.
Those are worth 20 gold.
I know, it's good news. Well, PenQ is going to be able to take down this turret pretty quickly. We'll see whether QG can fight this.
Oh, it stands.
Yeah, spooky ghosts coming in. You can see XY does have his teleport, looking to find a way in M3. All four members, they are going to be able to take down this turret. PenQ with his rapid fire cannon helping out with the range on that one.
And they stopped V's recall while Maokai is sitting in that top lane. They're going to stop him again, and there's a chance V could be caught here.
Yeah, Peko actually waiting in the brush here as well. Down goes the pillar. Savoki spots the Sivir.
One of the actual pillars of ice that you do see from this game.
Yep.
The rest just make no sense with its name.
Yeah, I know.
They really should rename
silly.
it.
Love it.
I just don't get why they did rename it to Pillar of Ice.
I loved Pillar of Filth. I actually loved Trundle's old kit. I loved what he looked like. Love everything about it. He was one of the only people though, Rusty. So
they definitely changed it with good reason.
They did. It was a good champion.
Here they go again bottom, but YOLO, you have to keep in mind, is honestly focusing this lane because it's the point of power. They're playing a Protect the Tristana type of composition. Oriana's just clearing at mid and then rotating on the bottom side, stopping Doinby from getting anywhere near it. And it's easy for them to take this with the range that Tristana has.
Getting cheeky auto attacks onto more here as well in the meantime. Peko doing a great job farming out the minion wave, keeping it pushed off this turret. Like YOLO. He's going to head over the other side and help deliver a blue buff over to Raphael.
They spotted him too. That was actually pinged. He went through a minion wave, so easy to tell where he's going. Some time here for QG if they wish to set up vision around the dragon area. They can very easily do so.
They've also got a scrying orb ward down there as well in the blue pit, but of course no position in order to help that one out. Raphael just clears out the minion wave very easily. 40 CS, 30 CS, sorry. Oh, 40 CS is going to be the lead if the Oriana in the mid lane. As Doinby's trying to get back up into some items. The Morellonomicon now completed, as well as the Distortion Enchantment on his Lucidity Boots. A lot of cooldown reduction here for this Victor, who can wave clear very easily.
Yeah. This is it's a safe point, essentially, for QG. They've got that wave clear that's required of them, and with the gold deficit favoring M3 by a large margin, getting all of their major items now on the board respectively, it's still difficult for them to get through the wave clear. This is the kind of game where M3 need to control that vision around Dragon, around Baron, work through the wave clear composition that you've got here for QG, and actually start these team fights. If you either dive or you take the Baron, you're in a positive situation here for M3.
Yeah. And still that gold lead extending now for M3, about 4,000.
Swift.
That's where it's at. Yeah, Swift may be in trouble. Quick Draw's back behind the pillar. Pathing was very strange right there, that the pillar can actually ruin you a little bit on that front. Swift though. Bramble back can be taken. Peko delivered. Oh, Prey Seeker.
Good attempt.
Almost found it. But M3 just continue to push things up. We'll see whether they get anything else. Peko's in the top lane.
Like, it's honestly, it's a slow game, right? But they're letting QG scale. That's the one thing. So M3 have hit this middle game point. And you have to question their late game capabilities. They're looking at Peko now.
Yeah, Boots of Swiftness are there for Peko, so he runs very quickly with that ultimate activated. They do at least get that cooldown, which is huge.
But they get the ultimate out of him. He doesn't use a summoner spell. Gets out with his life perfectly fine. Siva's always going to be fine with a spell shield there. M3, they're rotating around the map. They're doing that effectively. But the objectives that they want just aren't falling for them yet. They've made the beginnings of a snowball. They haven't cemented that lead.
Oh, Peko.
That was a nice crit.
That was huge damage. May have even just been the...
They need Victor here, otherwise the towers will start to fall. Graves has great wave clear also.
Well, Graves and Siva seem to be enough for now, at least.
Meanwhile, Wet Noodle.
Yeah, exactly. Next wave. He's now taking the brunt of it, though. As the ultimate is popped. Not going to get him into the wall.
Got the flank.
Yeah, YOLO looking to try and pick up V, who just uses the ultimate. Get them back towards their base, but it only seems to be just delaying the inevitable. Oh, not going to be enough as Doinby is going to deter them from being around here any longer. Nicely played.
Yeah, that was very smart from Doinby to get there in the first place. V was inevitably going to die. But the cavalry arrives in this Victor. Keeps him alive. Dragon's available and Poppy's now back. YOLO being on half health is the scary thing here for M3. If a fight breaks out, their tank line could be one less member with Burst. And QG are grouped up looking to potentially fight this one. I don't blame them.
Yeah, that's the scrying orb. But not going to be able to fight anything as XY and Doinby, YOLO were, somewhat low. They were damaged. Might have been a way for QG to find their way in, but of course, just too much dragon damage, and they'll be able to take that one down just in time.
And it's only Dragon too, right? Like,
yeah.
Dragons are pretty much useless until number 4, once you've already got 1. So they don't need to fight this, QG. They don't need to fight anything. The onus is honestly coming back to M3 because Jagu are happy. they feel happy. They can just sit back. And sure, there's a 30 CS advantage in the middle lane. The AD carry's got 2 extra kills over Peko. Maokai is able to successfully at least survive a 1v1 with V. There's a lot of positives here for M3. There's a lot that they can take away from where they are in this game right now. If they don't start committing to fights, committing to catching people out of position, focusing much more on vision, setting themselves up for success, then they're not going to break QG at all. And in fact, QG have worked their way back out towards this middle lane turret. Now they're looking menacing.
Yeah, they are. Oh, Swift might be in trouble as Pentaque finds his way over. Explosive shot is on top of him, so that'll explode for a bit more damage, but not too much. And M3 successfully defend. You can see V, though, still fighting XY in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think that's where Chuggo are going to look towards, just having V outlast XY. And if anyone goes down to help deal with V, then they rotate elsewhere on the map. They've got a Sivir to do so. They can capitalize on mispositioned enemies relatively simply here. This turret's gone.
Yeah, V able to lock that one down. XY Twisted advances on top of him. We'll see whether that 1v1's going to do anything as Doinby might be in trouble. Exhaust goes down. That is a dead Victor as Buster Shot comes in and secures it. Chaos Storm not going to do anything to Pentaque, and he just falls.
Trundle with the Pillar of Ice is just ridiculous. Look at Mori, stuck. He has to ult.
Yep, can't do anything. And, oh, there's the Shockwave as well to bring him back. They're trying to wait out the Unbreakable Will as they do get the knock-up. Savoki in trouble as the teleport's coming in from V. We'll see whether QG can get a team fight that they want here. Doinby still with 27 seconds to go. As Peko at least able to get a decent boomerang out.
This Trundle is doing everything for M3 right now. It's setting them up so nicely, finding these engages, but Orino's Shockwave makes this difficult to siege. Trundle, Tristana not having ultimates themselves. I think QG might be okay for this. XY is pretty tanky though.
Yeah, and YOLO as well.
No, this is going to go down.
Yeah, and Swift actually gets his Hex Trigger proc there as well. Oh my goodness, the damage. As the boomerang comes back, the turret still survives somehow. As Peko's ultimate is out.
It's a one-hit turret at the moment, so that is a standing objective. That will be free gold to M3 if they should so choose to take it. This is good from QG, making a rotation. M3 have blinking health bars on Trundle and Tristana. They need to go back to base, and QG know. And now they're threatening the mid turret. They'll get at least this turret for it.
Yeah, and B was actually looking for a potential engage there as well as M3 nice positioning. Not going to get caught out. You can see that's a free objective for QG. Lowering that gap by just a little. Now at about 5,000 gold. Peko moving over towards the Baron. We'll see what QG can do because I mentioned it before. It's a big test for the team to be behind this far and see whether M3 are going to be what stops QG.
The lead hasn't been growing that much. It's been relatively similar in its growth. QG matching a turret that's inevitably going to fall away and in favor of M3 sooner rather than later, you would imagine.
Oh yeah, as soon as I can push that wave back up.
Now they have to focus Baron. Again, one of the big conditions here for M3 to break the wave clear of QG.
Oh, they think they found a fight. There's the headbutt pulverized from Moore as Swift has found his way all the way in the tunnel. Out now from YOLO as Peko is just straight onto Savoki. V into the back line. Savoki is going to fall down. You're right. YOLO, he's dead as well. The Shockwave comes in, but Peko not going to die from it. Massive wall hop as Raphael gets delivered. QG, how do they do this every time? As XY is going to get destroyed. They grab the ace, and they'll be able to take Baron. I don't understand this team, Rusty. This always happens.
They set up vision. They know that Tristana is out of position. You can see still in that middle lane, most likely going to get a turret, and they fight with conviction, and they make decisions aggressively, and 100% of the team commits. V goes in, and honestly, more catching them out of position sets them up. Almost knocks one of them into the Baron pit, doesn't. They kill him. The rest of the team fight is just that simple. QG, don't let them get to team fighting. They've put themselves within 3k of M3 now and back into this game because they wait for one mistake and they capitalize on it.
And look at all the standing gold. They can now just move around the map. You can see Peko already on the top lane. He's got an outer turret to pick up, probably for free, as he's got a heck of a lot of gold there as well. And you're right, I actually thought that was an ace because Pentaque nowhere to be seen in that fight.
And he was out of position. They were working towards the middle lane, and they forced M3's top laner and a support, jungler and support to retreat through QG's own jungle. They had themselves set up in that position, knowing Tristana wasn't there, and cut her off based off their own position. It's easy to do. And they just it shouldn't happen like that. Of course, Tristan is nearby. Which actually, Tristan's bottom. That's why they're fighting.
Yeah.
And look at this. The damage that Pico's putting down on Savoki is enough to pretty much take him out. Raphael's ultimate is lackluster at best. It doesn't actually do anything. Pico gets a bit low from it, but I expected more from him. Smart play here from QG. I'm going to have to say it was an exhaust from Moore that stopped it from doing damage.
Yeah, I was going to say that because he hit both of the carries with that shockwave, but just didn't do anything. Yeah, in the meantime, it is going to be Dragon picked up as well here for QG as they turn their eyes towards this inner turret in the bottom lane. Feeling a lot better with the Baron buff. The purple swirlies giving them what they need. And yeah, let's see how they do in a siege situation here with the boomerangs to come out with, of course, the lasers from Victor. A lot of extra poke damage. End of the line there, you can see, does a fair bit of damage there to Raphael.
And this is the situation where you look at QG's team composition, you question their range. They've got a Sivir and a Graves, and Victor's flanking at the moment, trying to put down some damage. He's taking some himself. Effectively, QG need to be within range of an Orianna Shockwave to get the turret. So the pressure that they have to place down needs to be a lot of health missing before they commit to an objective. Raphael is losing his health. I think, I was going to say, needs to recall about now before the next wave arrives. There's a window for QG that's a slight one, though, at best.
Yeah, YOLO as well. He's going down low.
PentaQ is just too scary. His range is so high. It's 3-0 Tristana with 3 completed items and a Last Whisper. Now they're looking aggressively.
Yeah, YOLO looking to find his way in, of course. Orianna is there. Ghost has been popped by Doimby. Turns around, actually. Twisted advance on top of the Victor, who has a lot of health, actually. XY now in trouble, but in goes QG. PentaQ, they really want him more. Actually gets knocked out of the way, but PentaQ might actually fall down. Swift able to take down XY. Meanwhile, in the backline, and QG, once again, the team fight working out. Pulverized from Moore as he's almost dead, but not dead enough. As the boomerangs are there. Peko making this Sivir look meta right now as the inner turret falls down as well. QG, this time they grab an ace.
Raphael is underperforming exceptionally so. He missed his shockwave because his sombrero had it himself.
Oh,
and
no.
You could barely see it because it was on the edge of the screen. That's how far away he was from the Maokai. You don't put a ball on a Maokai if he's going to engage, because the Twisted Advance brings it back to you.
Yeah, drops it.
QG, they find a victory from an engage that felt desperate from Masters 3, and they were the side